person says, Omra porozu hareini naziro. Imo medis. Okay? Person says, I'll be in, the Porah said, I'll be in the zero if I stand up. The Gemara is asking this. Aniyome hadela says hareini naziro. Im niftachani. Door said, if I open, I'll be a Nazir. Ishami omrim Nazir. Although it seems to be nonsense. We'll see in a moment. Person's a Nazir. Silo omrim meinu Nazir. Amr Rav Yudo, Av Kish Amr Beis Shammai. Even when Beis Shammai said it's a Nazir, Lo Amr El Be'omeh Harei Porah Zu Olai Korban. Person said the Porah should be a Korban. The Neder has nothing to do with Nazir, Imo Medisi. If the Porah stands up, the Porah is off limits to me. Make a Neder. Somebody asked a question, Porah Miku B'shtaya. There's a cow doesn't speak. What do you mean? The Porah said if I stand up, Amr Rabbi Rechama Hochma Eskinu Gon Sheoisa Porah V'Rutze Lefonav. There was a cow that was crouching in front of him. V'Omar, and the person says, Kisvura Porazu Eno Omedis. Seems to be this cow is not standing up. Hareini Nazir Mibsora Imomda Me'aleo. Vomda Me'aleo. He says, I am a Nazir, but he used the term from its flesh. Rather than saying, I'm a Nazir from wine, or I'm just plain Nazir, he says, I'm a Nazir Mibsora if she gets up on her own. V'omda Me'aleo. Bishamai, when he says this, although he said, I am a Nazir from its flesh, from its bosser, he's a Nazir. And Bishamai is consistent like what he said in the previous Mishnah. First is a Hareini Nazir from grogris and velo. I'm a Nazir from figs, or from pressed figs. Bishamai says a Nazir. Besilu Shitosan, right? Bishamai, Besil also is consistent. Bishamai, Amri Minad grogris, Minad velo, having Nazir Chanami. Just as Bishamai said, the previous Mishnah person says, I am a Nazir from figs and from pressed figs. He's a Nazir. Kiyama Bisor Havi Nazir, same here. Bisil, Omrim, no. Lo Havi Nazir. As he said earlier, it's not. Von Rabbi Bishamai Chadu Zimno. So we're asked, Rabbi Bishamai already said previously. What if Rabbi Yudna Nazir doesn't have to record something which is identical to the first statement? Omerova Tati Plus. No, the three cases. We have the case of what? Nazir Migrogris and Dvelo. Grogris, I am a Nazir from its flesh, and I am a Nazir regarding the door. The door said. The door opens, right? And each one has a chidush. Each case has a chidush. No, you need all three cases. The 2 and 3 cases, you need it. And every one of the cases, there's a chidush, therefore each case had to be cited. The first case is min ha-grogris, min ha-bosor, and the delis. Every case is needed. If we would only say the machlois b'sham b'silu hareini nozim min ha-grogris, what would I say? Grogris et velo hosam hu damri b'shamai havi nozi. You know why b'shamai said these are nozir there? B'shum de michlim ba'novim. Because since they're both fruits, people, they confuse figs and grapes. They confuse the two. So Rashi himself says, it's like a kinui. Sometimes a person says, the figs, but he means the grapes. People, they confuse the two. So sometimes they refer to grapes as figs. So when he said Hareini Nazir min ha-grogris, he meant grapes. Basil says no. You have to say grapes. Figs is figs and grapes are grapes. So therefore you're not a Nazir. Aval bos about novel michlef, but a person doesn't confuse meat with wine, right? So he says min ha-bos. I would say Beishamai would say it's nothing. Maybe the Beishamai would concur with Basil that he's not a Nazir. So therefore he has to tell me the chiddush. No, even by boser, And like we said earlier, what is it? A person a person doesn't say words in vain, have no value. So he might say, Hareini Nazir. I am a Nazir. And he says, and min ha-grogris. Right? Because so the first statement he made, that takes on value. And remember, the Gemara said Beishamai is consistent, because Beishamai holds that if you consecrate something for Hegdish, you can't be shol on it. So since this is Kodesh, since it says by the Nazir, Kodesh, he also uses the term Kedusha. So just as when you magdish something, you can't be shol on it, here also, he can't retract. When he said, Hareini Nazir, that's saying like something should be Hegdish. Therefore, when he's wanted to retract with Grogris, he can't. He's not able to retract it. V'yid ma'bahor. Let's say I'd have just a case. Second case. I would say, Boser, who the Ambeisham, having Nazir. Why? Kibisr v'chamra. Because a person, when he has wine, he drinks wine. He has meat and wine. People goes together. Right? Wine and meat. Al grogus velo lo. What does grogus have to do with anovim? Has no relevance. So by saying harini nozim in ad grogus, I'd say it means nothing. Kamash malon, no. Now what do we say? As we said earlier, that harini nazir is because it's hegdish, and Beishamai holds like Rameino the motzi dvar of levatola. V'idme bohani tarti. So if you have the first two cases, what do we do? The third case, minadelis, right? V'idme bohani tarti. Hani hu dekami Beishamai. Because as we said, meat goes with wine, grapes are confused with figs. But what is a door? What does a door have to do with nazir? I'm a nazir from the delis. Aval delis ema modelud beisilel. I would say Beishamai would concur with Beisil that it's nonsense. The man said nonsense, said nothing. Vitona delis bokam Beisilel. I'd say that's where Beisil agrees. That's where Beisil says it's nothing. Because delis, there's no even a justification has any relevance to what? To nazir. But by figs, which could confuse with grapes, and meat, which has relevance to wine, maybe Beisilel would agree with Beishamai that he is a nazir. Avach tarti emamodul leBeishamai kamash malon dulo. That the machlokes Beishamai Silo is consistent by every one of the cases, even delis. So why by delis? He said nothing. The answer is because again, eno the motziv dvarvim hatola. Person doesn't say anything in vain, and since Beishamai is of the opinion you can't be shown on hegdish, nazir is the equivalent of being magdish something. Therefore, you can't retract from what you originally said. He said hareini nazir. So you're not minad delis. It's nonsense. It means that we totally dismiss it. Basil says adam nitfas b'sof dvarav adam nitfas. You look at his concluding statement to reveal what he meant. So if he says hareini nazir minad delis, you know what that means? It means nonsense. So it means nonsense. He's nothing. In every one of the cases, he argues Beishamai. Every case, whether it's figs or meat or the door, everyone is nothing. Okay? No, it's just giving me. No, if the cow gets, no, that's the way he expressed it. He gives some other nonsensical type case. That's all. That's the point. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. No, that's the way he expressed it. Omar Rava, so Rava says, so this is Rami Bar Chama, the way he explained the Mishnah. That is why you need three cases, and that's exactly what the Mishnah is talking about. It's not that the cow is talking. You read the words of the Mishnah, it's the cow is talking. Omar Rava, Miktoni Mom de Be'eleo, I mean, the way Rami Chama says, if the cow is a rebutza, it's crouched, and if it should stand up without any prodding, I'll be a nazir from its meat. That's what he said. So Mar says, Elo Amar Rava, the cow was crouching. Yeah, he says the cow should be off limits to me. Regular neder. Bishlam aporo bas korbani. He said that's what he said. The cow should be a korban. So cow's a korban. El ladelis by korbani. What does it mean? He said the same thing with the door. What the door should be? What should be consecrated? No, he said, "Shehizir atzmi meno imlo yamideno vam de be'ileo." The way Rashi learns over here. A parah, it's a parah. You're right. Right. See, Tosas learns im omda im no omda, because it's omda. He has the same question. He asked on Rabbi Bar Chama, does it say if it gets up? It doesn't get up. So when he says omda, it's lav davka. It doesn't mean if it stands up, even if it remains crouched, right? Because otherwise, then his question on Rabbi Bar Chama is the question on himself, right? Omar coach oisa paravutz lefonav amarini knows bishlam para bas korbani, delas bas korbani. Elo Omar Rova coach oisa paravutz lefonav. Again. The cow was revutza, was crouched. V'amarini nazir miyayin imlo wamdo. So he said minayayin. I am a nazir from wine imlo wamdo v'amdo meileo. And it stood up. 1 second. Im lo omdo. What if im lo omdo? If it doesn't stand up, and it stood up, v'omdo me'ileo. He says, I'm a nazir if it does not get up, and then it stood up. Ve'shamei sova turfei daigavro mishum dukum biyodehu. V'lo ukma. What is this? Lo omdo v'omdo me'ileo debidin hu davali in the misni hochi kedomer nami v'io terutzo. Kevin the Shomei the Rova Dome Milse Diesle Pircho, Vantas Lishum the Milse Porach Lake the Porach Bishlam Porach Bas Carboni, Voda Michlip Shitoso to Mikoro Hugilo going to Omar Rea like Corbon, Hugilo going to Omar Harani Nozim Yain Umasai Milse Bishlam Porach Bas Carboni. Yet it's further. Second. Imlo Omdo Rega. Mastis Victorim Omedes Hochi Kome. Who's he Spura Shetemus Hakeve Sham Harini Nozi im Tiskai Machshavto. Meaning it's the other way. You see, Rashi learns, it's not if it stands. I mean, he says no. If the animals remain in its stubborn state, I'm a nazir. That's what he said. If it doesn't get up, before we said if it gets up, here he says no, if it remains there. And it turned out it stood up. So seemingly it's a conditional, it should not be a nazir, right? Right? So he says, Sheteo meres elo ani amido. Im Tiskai Machshav, there's Teomedes, Sham, Elani Amida, Vomda Beileo, Basis Lekal, Shuri Hashtuk, Makshin Leo, Midi, Im Omdo Beileo, Ktoni, Do Rova Gufe, Lo Shani Lehocha, Ke Bain Omdo, Meilo Bain Omdo Yedeche, Vo Pligi, Beshamis Avi Turfe, Dai Gavri Iker, shall say, Lo Havas Elo Adaito, the Iudukum Lo, Bal Korcho, Vaidekom, Im Lo Omdo, Im Lo Amido, Bimashma. Hilko kevedlo ukma havi nazir. Yeah, what he's saying. When the man says, "I'll be a nazir if it doesn't get up," right? If it doesn't get up, and it gets up on its own. So what he said, he says, "I'll be a nazir if I don't have to get it up." That's what he says. If I don't have to get it up, right? If I have to go make the effort to get it up, I'm not a nazir. But if I don't have to make the effort, so what does that mean? So whether it's crouched or it stands up on its own. That's the way Shammai is interpreting his statement. That's what Shammai is interpreting his statement. I will be a nazir if it doesn't get up. It's intransient, the animal. If it doesn't get up, meaning if I have to go and force it to stand, I'm not a nazir. No, he's the one. He made a condition. Let's see, a person says, if it rains, I will give you a gift. It doesn't rain, I won't give you a gift. Are you in control if it rains, it doesn't rain? That's your condition. You can say whatever you want to say. Same thing. It's not. It could be nonsense. It's irrelevant. If the animal remains in this stubborn state, and then I will be a nazir, and if I have to force it to stand, I will not be a nazir. Then it stands up. No, so because it stood up and so he didn't. It didn't remain in a crouched state. But since he didn't have to force it to stand up, so therefore Shammai says, even though it stood up, you still a nazir. Because that's the way we interpret his words. Not that if it remains crouched, as long as I don't have to force it to stand. Well, that's what we're interpreting his statement. Shammai is interpreting his words to mean that. So if he interprets words to mean that, so therefore even if it stands up, but since you didn't have to force it up, it stood on its own, you're a nazir. Why? No, it stood up. He said only if it remains crouched. Why? What is the issue? 1 second. So he says, that's what he says. What was he adamantly opposed to that he shouldn't have to force it to stand? He didn't force it to stand. Why? Because it got up by itself. And he meant only when am I not a nazir if I have to force it to stand. The review. No. How do we interpret his intent? I'll be a nazir if it remains crouched. But if it stands up, regardless how, whether I have to force it or it stands on its own, I'm not a nazir. So that's why Basil says it's not a nazir. Not because he didn't say he said the right words. It's just a question of interpreting what the condition was. Okay? We should review, and here it stood up. Therefore, you're not a nazir according to Basil. You following? So they were arguing, how do I interpret his intent? When he said those words, what did he actually mean? Beis Shammai says he expands it. He still says it means exactly limited to that. So since it did not remain in a crouched state, I'm not a Nazir. Exactly. So according to this, it's not redundant. It has no relevance to the first Mishnah of Hareini Nazir min HaGrogris. Right? He's not saying nonsense. It's just a conditional Nazir. So let's see the conclusion. Amar Rav Yehuda, Af Ksham Beis Shammai lo Omru Ela B'Omer Harei Elai Korban. It's only if he says it should be a korban. Poro Miko Matvis Bo Midi. Second. There you go. Rabbi Yehuda lo kshat osov shematvis bepora levi nazir kachom Rabbi Shai lo omer af shem mitvis bo omer elo bo omer harei porazu alai korban davi nodur ve'eno nazir aval bedeles lo polag Rabbi Yehuda lo shaycha bei lishna dendorim geisila. Yes, what is that? So what's the most question? So he says, according to that, Rabbi Yehuda says. What's the Bach? What's the Bach here? Avabomer poro zu olai korban pirish komatvis bo midi nir beinai pirish halo lo matvis bepora el shenoda min hayayin. Elishnoda, Noda bin Yaim, Kain, Kosha, my Polak Rav Yehuda, the Shabbat commentator Kamal, Beis Shammai having Nazir, Rinin lay the Matvis Beporo, Lav Hainu Nazir mi Bsoro, Kedleel, Elo to come imlo omdo. Okay? So what are we asking? What's the reason why, before we said, what's the reason why Rav Yehuda argued? Because he didn't say it right. No, let's say the first Mishnah. Hareini Nazir min HaGrogris. No, what does Grogris have to do with Nazir? Therefore, Rabbi Yehuda says there's no way Beis Shammai could have said that you're a Nazir. But over here, they're not arguing about the Nazir. It's the Tanai. What did he mean? Right? So what is he saying? He said the animal should be consecrated. The animal should be off limits to him. Right? He said it's not a Nazir, right? But Rabbi Yehuda doesn't have to argue. See, before Rabbi Yehuda's arguing, he says, but he didn't say you should be a Nazir. You can't be a Nazir from figs. But over here, the way Rav is explaining, he's not saying he's a Nazir from the animal, from the meat. He's not being a Nazir from the meat. He's being Nazir wine, except the animal, that is the condition whether he is or he's not. So what is Rabbi Yehuda coming up with a new case? That it can't be that. You know what he said? He made a neder, he's not going to benefit from the animal. Right? It has no relevance to this. Right? We're arguing what was the statement. We're dealing with what did he mean when he said, if it stands. Does it mean I have to force it stands, or even if it stands on its own? So why is that's an impossibility? So the first case say that's an impossibility. I'm a Nazir from figs. There's no way Beis Shammai could say that you're a Nazir, because figs have no relevance to being a Nazir. But over here, that's not what we're talking about over here. He said he should be a Nazir from its flesh. He said I'm a Nazir from wine if the animal stands. And we're trying to understand what exactly did he mean. So that's the Gemara's question. Is he consecrating? Is he consecrating the meat of the animal? He's not saying the meat of the animal should be Nazir. He'll be the Nazir, and the Nazir means the conventional Nazir. Yayin. El Gondoba Hareini Nazir Mibsoro. This is what he said. You hear this? He said Hareini Nazir Mibsoro Imlo Omdo. V'omdo meileo. Beis Shammai Savri Turfei Del Gavro. Mishum Ukma Biyodu V'lo Ukma. Beis Hillel Savri Turfei Del Gavro Mishum Revihu. V'kama. Yeah, but then we have a problem. Rabbi rejected Rabbi Bar Chama because he says, did he say, no, right? Did he say from its flesh? Right? That was why did Rabbi reject it? Right? Rabbi said Amar Rava, Biktonim Om de Meileo. Oh, Imam de Meileh, he didn't say that, right? So again, it's the same thing. We're coming back to the same thing. He said, I'm a nazir from its flesh, right? But he said, when? It's the same argument, right? No, before he says, if it stands, I will be a nazir. Before he said, if I stands, did he say? Here he's saying, no, if it remains crouched, I'll be a nazir. It is crouched. He says, it's paravutza. It is paravutza. Right? They're arguing when it stands on his own, is that still called paravutza? That's called the crouch, because I didn't have to force it to stand. Okay? So the Gemara says, so he says, I've omer b'bsora lo avi nozir tamid b'shami komer lidi dan afilo kamt nami lo avi nozir. Right? 1 second. Somebody says, well, kamt b'sil sabri lo kamt avi nozir. Now we have a problem. It's a stirum b'sham b'sila. B'sil said earlier, if a person says, I'm a nozir from figs, what is it? It's not. You're not. So here we're saying, what's the og b'shil b'shem b'sila? What does the word mean if it doesn't stand? Does it stand on, it has to be forced to stand? But what's the inference of that? If we agree on the language, although he said, Hareini nozim in Abosar, Basil would agree you're a Nazir. Let's say factually it remained crouched. Basil is saying, you're a Nazir. How could you be a Nazir? He said, I'm a Nazir from its flesh. And Basil says, unless you say from wine, it's nothing. So how do we understand it? The way Rav is learning, so that's the first question. V'oma b'sora lo havi nozir, right? V'oma b'sora lo havi nozir. Basil said earlier, when you say Hareini Nazir from its flesh, you're not a Nazir. Here, the way Rav is living, what are they arguing? Not you can't be a Nazir from its basar, but what does it mean? It remains crouched. Crouched on its own, or it stands on its own. So on that, the Gemara answers, the Tamei Beishamai Kamri. Lidi Dan, Basil is talking to Beishamai. According to my position, Afilu Kamp Nami Lo Avi Nazir. Afilu Kamp, even if it remains crouched, it's not a Nazir. Why? Because he didn't say it right. How could you be a Nazir? The Nazir has no relevance to flesh. That you were saying, like you said earlier, that ain't the most involved when you said Hareini Nazir, that locks you in. It's irrelevant what you say afterwards. The Turfei Daden Gavra Mishum Revia. What did he say? What was the expression? If it remains crouched, I vokamt, it stood up. So if that's the case, the Tanai wasn't met. So if the Tanai was not met, even according to your position, he should not be a Nazir. That's what he was saying. Ubeishame lo turfeg, lav turvidai gabro, yishum dukum biyodiyu, vo lo hukmeg. Okay, it's good. So according to this, again, getting back to what we were saying, according to we'd have to make a tzrichusa. According to Rava, there's no tzrichusa over here. This is exactly the previous Mishnah. Right? Why do we add this? Because of the condition, how to interpret what the words meant. On that basis, says the Beishamai, something, even according to your understanding, still it should not be, because factually you said if it doesn't stand, and it only if it remains crouched, and it didn't remain crouched, it stood. Mozgalo asakos. They go dilute a cup of wine for a man. V'mareini nozim yimenu. I'll be a Nazir for a bit. A cup of wine. There's a cup of wine. Hareza Nazir. That's the equivalent of saying, Pirish Nazir minakos. Even though we said earlier, the person says, Hareini Nazir min hayayin. Hareini Nazir min acherzo. Hareini Nazir min azag. Right? That's the equivalent of saying Hareini Nazir. So, no, it's a kos yayin. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Mozgul was a kos from Hareini Nazir min hareza Nazir. He's a Nazir. Here, there was a woman, Shahoisa Shikura. She was drunk. Aleph. Second. He has other gears here. Shechula. Shechulas. Yeah, 1 second. Umozgul Sakos, Goma Hareni Nazirim Mimenu. And she said, I'm a Nazir. Amr Chacham alone. This Kabda Zu, and Loma Hareya like Korban. Meaning over there, she didn't want to make herself a Nazir. She's a woman who she's an alcoholic. So now they want to give her, they want to tempt her with a cup of wine. They're filling up, they're pouring a cup of, she says, Hareni Nozim Minakos. She says, she didn't mean that she's a Nazira. She's making a netter. She doesn't want to drink the wine. So how does she keep the wine away from her? It's a netter, but she doesn't want to become the Nazir. Right? The Gemara asks, the story you're telling over is a Maisa Lister. Of course, we're saying, when you say, usually when the Mishnah, the point of the Mishnah is we say halacha, then you don't bring an incident which is contradictory to the halacha we just said. We just said Hareini Nozim in Akos is like saying Hareini Nozim. And they say, and there was an incident with a woman who was an alcoholic. She said that, and Rabbi Yehuda says, in that case, the Chacham said, it's like saying a neder. So the story you're citing is contrary to the halacha we just said. Maisa Lister, Amareish Harei Nazir, Harei Nazir. V'adetani, Mais Bishachas, Alma B'chai, Hu Da'oser, Habiyena Achrina Shori. Right, but otherwise she's permitted to drink. I mean, she's not a Nazira. Chsuri Mech Shavochi Tani, Moskal Wasakos, V'amarini Nazir Mimenu, Harei Nazir. V'im Shikaru, but if he's an alcoholic, V'amarini Nazir Mimenu Eino Nazir. Then when he said Nazir, he never meant that. Why? My time, command you Amarini Olay Nazir Hareya like a korban. Of course, he's an alcoholic. We could say with certainty he meant to say it's only a neder. It's off limits. Right? Let's say korban. Let him use the lotion of neder. If he only wants it to be a neder, right? What is saying Nazir? I'm a Nazir from the coast. Sova maisin li achrino umitzarin li. Emalu homilso de psikalu. 1 second. So he says, Chidim leba hochi. Sova maisin li. He's concerned they'll bring him another cup, and they're going to pressure him to drink the wine. Emalu lo homilso psikalu. So by saying Hareini Nozim in Akos, that'll put a stop to it. 1 second. Even though he says Hareini Nozim Minakos. So how was that? So to bring so good.
So that one and not others.
So use the term that they should stay away from, leave him alone. But what did he mean? He meant nether. He only used the term because they were going to pressure him. They were going to pressure him. This cup, you know what? We'll bring you another cup of wine. Yeah. So the Maisa is following the case of the drunkard. There was a story with a man.
Right.
If he's a drunkard, he would say that, then Nazir does not mean, it means neder. I wanted to say it because of that.
Right.
And there was an incident with a woman, the same story.
Okay.
So the story comes to support the last halacha stated in the Mishnah, the case of the drunkard. Okay? So he says something interesting. Things haven't changed. Person who's an alcoholic, who do you try to encourage to drink? You want to make fun of the other guy, so you get him drunk. So you give him one glass, another glass till he gets drunk. So he's vulnerable to this level of pressure. He says, "Pirish derech b'nei odam lahavtzir b'shikur sheyishte." They pressure him that he wants the shikar to drink. V'ata inu rotze lishtos, and he doesn't want because he understands what the consequence of it. V'omer nazir hu l'salkem mi'olav. He says, "I'm a nazir just to get rid of them, get him off his back." Shem lo yomer nazir hu yorei shevilo kosacher. He doesn't use that kind of term. They're going to come back at him. L'kachomer nazir l'salkem l'gamri mi'olav. Just wants to get them off his back. Avuk she'enu shikur ein derech laftziro. They're not. L'kach omer nazir mikuluk. So then, what would it be then?
It would have been.
No, nazir means from everything. You're a nazir.
Right.
Same story with a woman. She already was a little tipsy. They wanted to give her more wine. So she used the term that they shouldn't bother her. Okay? Hareini nozam nash shose yayin. Here, this is Masla Mashkos Torah. The person says, I'll be a Nazir on one condition, that I should be able to drink wine and contaminate myself, which is contrary to the laws of Nazirus.
So that would be foolish.
Not what it would be
It would be
foolish.
foolish for.
No, this is Masla Mashkos Torah. Harei Mukdesh Shli, that I have no Shein L'cho Olei Sher Kusvona. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Not because it's foolishness. You can't make a
It's an opposite.
So let me not be. But it says he is a Nazir.
Because they're taking the first part of this statement.
No. That's nothing to do with that. How do you? Where do we learn the laws of tonight from? We have this in Kedushin. We learned tonight from Bnei Gad Bnei Ruvain.
Right.
It has to conform with the laws of tonight.
Right, but we just went through here.
No, it has no relevance to that. Before it wasn't because of the tonight.
Okay.
Before it wasn't because the condition was faulty.
All right.
Because there he didn't say the right thing. Period. If a condition does not conform with what the Torah dictates, it's not has no value.
Right.
So he says, I'm a Nazir on the condition I should be able to violate my Nazirus.
Right.
And the Tanai has no value.
Right.
That's why he's a Nazir. That's the halacha. Maisa Kayim, Tanai Botir. It's the same idea. It means the first statement is in place and the condition is nullified, has no value, is voided. Hillel will agree to this. There's no argument here. There he said, I'm a Nazir from figs. So that's not contrary to Torah. He said something that doesn't make any sense. When Torah speaks about Nazir, Nazir is wine. You said figs. Nazir for meat. There's no such Nazir for meat. How do we interpret? Here he says, I'm a Nazir on the condition that I could contaminate myself. But Torah says, no, if you're a Nazir, you can't contaminate yourself. So you want to make a condition contrary to what the Torah is dictating. So therefore, that because it's that, so even Basil agrees here, that then the Tanai is not a Tanai, right? Hareza Nazir, v'asu b'kulan. Okay, Yodei initiation Nazirus. First says, I know there's such a thing as Nazirus. Aval eni Yodei sha'nozir oser b'yayin. But I'm not aware that a Nazir is not permitted to drink wine. Hareza oser. Still, he's still not. Why? Because factually, you said you want to be a Nazir. Reb Shimon Matir. Nobody knew it meant, let's say, grapes and contamination, cutting your hair. But he says, I did not. See, this would be the equivalent of going before a Chacham and nullifying the neder. Let's say we go to a Chacham and says, if I would have known that you couldn't drink wine, I wouldn't have wanted it. Everybody agrees with that. There's no question. This is what he said himself. He didn't say this to a Chacham. He said, if I would have known, is this a Nazir Betos? Reb Shimon Matir. Yodeani shanoz osa biyayin, aval sovo yisi shachachom matirin li. He says, I was aware that Nazir wasn't permitted to drink, but I entered into it because I thought the rabbis, you paid a rabbi enough, we'll give you a heter. Right? Chachachom matirin li. Meishe'enani yochol lichios ele biyayin, because I'm so addicted to wine. They'll make me the exception. Under normal circumstances, of course you shouldn't drink wine, but because you have an addiction, they'll make me the exception. He has to just, the Gemara says, Yans Lemori Nefesh, a guy who's always involved in depressing things, you have to take the edge off of it. So he says, so don't make me the exception. Hareze mutter. That's mutter. According to the Tanna Kama, that's mutter, because he said, right, Reb Shimon Oser. See, there's a difference. Here's just the opposite. Reb Shimon Oser. Reb Shimon is machmi. This is what Reb Shimon is machmi. 1 second. Yeah, it's terrific. Reb Shimon before says the reason why it's mutter is because, remember, Reb Shimon learned the Torah goes and delineates Zag, Chetzen, everything. So you have to be Nazir Mikulan. Right? Meaning, if you say Hareni Nazir, it's all inclusive. Hareni Nazir min ayayin. What are you? You're not a Nazir. Because you have to say, once you delineate, you have to delineate everything. So, nothing's included. It's either all. If you say Nazir, Nazir is a statement, all-inclusive. But once you start identifying, delineating things, you have to say all of them. So here he said, contamination, cutting my hair, but he didn't say wine. It's a problem. So Reb Shimon L'Tamei, he's not a Nazir. Right? That's what he said. Yodei sheish Nazir, aval eni yodei sha'nozir osa b'yayin. Said it's the equivalent. I know a Nazir is not permitted to cut his hair and contaminate, but not to drink wine. So he says, so he didn't accept upon himself drinking wine. How is there also? So it's not a condition. This is not Master Mashkos in the Torah. Reb Shimon Matir, Yodani Shad knows also biyayin. So he knows it. So he's saying everything. Except I thought that what? Because of my predicament, they'll make me the exception. Reb Shimon says, nothing doing. You're a Nazir. So why did the Chacham say he's what's his name? Yeah. The moment you did also biyan avo shavar yishkush zarti Chacham materially. Neisheni yochol lichas b'lei shiriyah shaslik b'meisa shigvalti al nizir sova yisi Chacham materially neishe nosi likbo meisa reisa muter digloy milslam afreya kor lo kabel of niziris miyayin mitum meisa lo kibel of Reb Shimon Ose time first Gemara. Okay, so Reb Shimon holds like Beis Shammai that you can't be matir. It's good. No. Beis Shammai holds before that hegdish betos is hegdish. So therefore, if you magdish something, you can't go before a chacham. Because the basis for what for haTorah, you find a weakness in the inception. So over here, that right? Reb Beis Shammai doesn't know that way. Gemara says lichli nam Reb Shimon b'reisha. What isn't he arguing in the ratio? Right? A person says, I'm a Nazir on the condition that I could contaminate to the dead, right? Or drink wine. So if that's the case, he didn't accept everything upon himself. So why does Reb Shimon only argue in the last two cases? He's arguing in the first case. We said once you start delineating things, then we say you have to accept everything or nothing. But yet the ratio says, what is he? He's also B'kulan. Live with Reb Shimon ratio. Reb Shimon Levi. Cholaka Reb Shimon ratio. No, he is arguing. Ravino Bereisha lo polak Reb Shimon time. You should have masal of makoshkos batorah. Call mashu maskosh batorah to know botel. Yeah. It's a regular. What's the case? It's a conditional netter nazir. So if the condition is contrary to what the Torah dictates, he says, "I'll be a nazir, but I'll say what the nazir should be." Reb Shimon Levi Omar Loch, Hay al Nas Kuchutz Domi. Yeah? He's differentiating. If a person says, I'll be a Nazir only from wine, Reb Shimon says, you're not a Nazir. Here he says, I am a Nazir. I want to be what a Nazir is, but I will dictate what the Nazir is. You can't dictate. So then you're a Nazir. If he would say, I'm a Nazir from wine, but not from B and C and D, then you're not a Nazir, according to Reb Shimon. But that's not what he said. That's the argument. But Reb Shimon Levi doesn't say that. Reb Shimon Levi says he even argues in the first case. So why is the Master Mashkos of the Torah? Because he says when you say Al-Manas, it's like saying Chutz. I am a Nazir for A and B, but not for C. Tanya Kavosid Ravino. We have a bright support for Ravino. Omar Reini Nazir Al-Manas E Shosi Yayin Tam Lamesim. Hareze Nazir Vasa Bekulam. They should Master Mashkos of the Torah. To know botel. You see, it has nothing to do with machlokes of Shimon and the Chachamim. Is a master mashkos about Torah, and Reb Shimon agrees. Master mashkos about Torah it's not a Tanai. Yodeani shanoze osi ki b'yayin. Except he says, I thought I'd be the exception. Avam a reisha osur. Reb Shimon matir. We said the reisha Reb Shimon agrees that he's not. And here the man says, I thought I accepted a Nazir, except I thought I'd be the exception. Ema, Samar says, Reb Shimon Matir. Ema Nami Harisa Osur, Reb Shimon Matir. So it says, Ema Nami Harisa Osur, Reb Shimon Matir. That would say yes. The last case. Our Mishnah reads Hareze Mutter, Reb Shimon Oser, right? So we're saying no. Amo, you should say Hareze Oser. The Tanakam says Oser, Reb Shimon Matir. We're. It's interesting. Moreover, he uses different language. Normally, when you invert something, it says Epuch throughout Shas. We will invert it. Here in the Nazir doesn't use the term. More is the question. It's a stira. Someone says Amo Nami. You're right. Well, it'll read Hareze Oser, Reb Shimon Matir. Maybe you could say like this. Whenever you find Epoch, usually it's among the Amoraim. You don't have Epoch use that term among... here we're talking about a Mishnah. You're inverting a Mishnah. So that was Amo. We'll say it this way. Amora, you misquoted Amora. It's not the end of the world. But misquoting a Mishnah, you don't misquote a Mishnah. So therefore, it's Ema. It's not. This is the way it will be said. It's not originally was said wrongly. It was. We have to invert the text. It's not inverting. Able always the connotation that the way it's being said, it has to be inverted. Here we're saying no. It was never said right. Never said right is not called Epoch. See, when you record something and you say, well, there's a problem, you say, okay, someone will alter the recording. Here it says, something. So we'll say it different. So the Mishnah this is the way it has to be said. That's why it's Emo. Emo nami hariza also Reb Shemat. Emo is Emo no. Olam lo Tepoch. Don't invert it. He's using Hosam Reisho Kagon Domar Nazir Bechado. The first case he said, I'm a Nazir from one thing. So Reb Shimon says what? Nazir from one thing, there's no such thing. Once you start delineating, it's not a Nazir. It's not a Nazir. That's what Reb Shimon in the Reish is Matir. Right? The Rabbanon, the Amri Afilu Lo Nazir Elim Yachsin Harizan Zodzi. That's the Reish. V'oser. Reb Shimon the Omer Achi Yazim Mikulan. Mutter. Seifo. The Nadim Mikulu. He says, I'm a Nazir. And I understand one is not permitted. I thought I'd be made the exception. Right? So initially, he's accepting everything upon himself. Right? The Nadim Mikulu V'ichul Michado. The Rabbanon the Amri Afilu Nazir Elimi Achas Man. There he says nothing. No, it was like a conditional. I thought it's a Naziris Betos. I thought they'd make me an exception. They tell me I'm not an exception, but then I never agreed. So therefore, according to the Chacham, what is it? It's a mistake in Naziris, Nazir Betos. He said, if I wouldn't want to be, right? Afilu Nazir El Miachas Man Hariz Nazir Ki Mitchell Michadim Minayu Ichul. But since he's saying now, if I would have known that would have been forbidden to me, I wouldn't want. Reb Shimon Dom Achi Ozmi Kulon Ki Mitchell Nami Mehu At Mitchell Mikulu. Says Gavaldik. Shavachta Reb Shimon says it's terrific. It's consistent. Reb Shimon says, how are you in Nazir? How are you in Nazir? Yeah, once you start delineating, it's A, B, C, D. Here says I'm a Nazir. But if I would have known from one, I wouldn't want to be. Just as when you make yourself a Nazir, it's all or nothing. Once when you make yourself a Nazir, when you show it, when you want to nullify it, you have to nullify A, B, C, D. If it was said, if I would have known you can't contaminate yourself, you can't cut your hair, and you can't eat any grape derivative, then it's all gone.
But if you would just say, I would nullify because I don't get Nazir.
No, also not.
Also,
That is gone.
Then it's gone.
But here he says, when he said wine,
If it's A, B, and C.
because wine, just as you can't become a Nazir with wine, you can't undo it just with wine, with one detail. You have to, it's right. Kitamim admichu mikulu mishum hochikton Reb Shimon Oser b'chachomim omrim ibos emo b'nidri onsin komifli erag midri onsin plug to Shmuel Rabasi ditman arbo nedorim hitiru chachomim the four nedorim that one doesn't have to go before chacham to what to matter to nullify nidri zeruzin nidri avoy nidri shkogos nidri onsin v'am Reb Yudah Rabasi arbo nedorim havo tzrichin shelu chacham. Rav Yudah says name Ravasi, even though on a Torah level they're not Nedorim, but rabbinically, you should go. Ki amrita kami di Shmuel amali tanu ketoni hituru chacham v'at amrit shrichen shel l'chachamim. Right? The Mishnah says the four Nedorim they were matir. It's permitted, and you're telling me that you have to go ask, you have to go nullify before chachamim. Rabbanon Savi Shmuel Rav Shimon to Ravasi. This is interesting. We're making machlokes tanoim to be the machlok samoroim. Hear this. We have an argument how to learn the Mishnah in the Dorim. It says the four types in Dorim which are permitted. That are permitted. Then Rav Yehuda comes along and says name Ravasi. Rav Yehuda says name Ravasi, but these four, it's true on a Torah level. It's not rabbinically you have to nullify them because it doesn't look good. Rabbinically you should nullify them. So he's saying, according to the Chachomim, Rabbanon Savado Kishmuel. Rabbanon say over here, when a person says, if I would have known it's nothing, that means this is a nidre what? This is a nidre, it's a nidre, what's it called? Zeruza nidre avoy, nidre shkogos, like nidre shkogos. Made a mistake. I thought they'd make me the exception. They didn't make me an exception. I don't know what you refer to it as. Nidri Onsen. Was it Nidri Onsen? Why do you refer to it? It could be Lav Dafka Nidri Onsen, right? No, it could be Nidri Shkogos. He thought that they'd make him an exception because he's a grave digger, right? So he has to hit the bottle just to calm himself. So good. So he holds that what Reb Shimon holds that what rabbinically you have to be moderate, right? The Chacham say no. That since it's mistaken, it's an obvious mistake. He doesn't have to go before a Chacham. 1 second. Before ich bin der Dorm kommt, she diru chavero, she ochel etzlo biyom ploni, v'ira lo onus. Shlo yochel lovo etzlo, v'tzorch lishol, al osa neder midrabon, pli v'amaroi. You know what the case is? A person make a neder that he's going to go eat by a certain person, and he, right? And then something came beyond his ability, and he can't fulfill it. So the question is, that neder in effect? You know what happened? I made a neder. If you don't accept my gift, all my possessions off limits to you. And the reason why I didn't accept the gift wasn't because by choice. I wasn't able to come in time because I missed the bus. I missed the train. Is your neder in effect? Because you only said it if you don't accept my gift. Why didn't you accept my gift? Because you didn't want to accept your gift. It was something beyond your control. Here also. But I don't know why he calls it Nidre Onsen. This should be more like Nidre Shkogin. This is Shogeg. He thought that he'd be treated as the exception. What? No, but it's not Onsen. But he knew this in advance. Onsen is something that happens afterwards. Here, this is initially new. He needs his alcohol to take the edge off his depression. So it's Nidre Shkogin. I thought I'd be made the exception. I'm not the exception. No, but I understand that. But we're talking about over here. The case by the grave digger. I'm a Nazir, but afterwards, when I said, but I thought I'd be made the exception. Okay, just start the next Mishnah. Hareini Nazir v'olei lagaleach. Nazir. He says, I'm a Nazir. Hareini Nazir v'olei lagaleach Nazir. Hareini Nazir v'olei lagaleach Nazir. Hareini Nazir ba'atzmo. Chayav bin Nazir. Shalavi karva Nazir v'olei lagaleach Nazir acher. Hashto Nazirus Chal Olei Va'ato Tzorach Lagaleach Nazir Ache Lo V'Kar Nazir Tezvov. He's saying two things. He's saying I'm a Nazir, and I accepting for myself to assume somebody else's responsibility. V'Shama Chavev V'Mavani V'Olei Lagaleach Nazir V'Yipichim Galchim Zeh Lav Megalchim Nazir Macher. We'll leave it here.